took a random battle request on Twitter, and this turned out to be a really good match. You guys will enjoy it, and stick around for the question of the day at the end of the video, because it's an interesting question, and I kind of want to get you guys' opinions on it. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with the battle here. He leads off with a Staraptor, which is kind of rare. I don't really see that often. And I lead off with my Tits McGee, my Blastoise, and he's just going to U-turn. I'm predicting this thing is like a banded lead, kind of like a Crobat, just to scout what my lead is. But I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam, not to over-predict. He goes out into Shaman, I guess predicting a Water-type move. But I actually am carrying or maybe HP Electric, but I actually am carrying Ice Beam, so that kind of fooled his plan, and we both don't want to stay in. We don't really know which one is faster, so I'm going to switch out and go into my Blissey, and he goes into a Heatran, and I know that Heatran can't really do anything to Blissey unless it's that Magma Storm trapping kind, so I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rock, and he misses a Toxic, so I contemplated going into my Breloom here to take the Toxic and get Poison Heal recovery, but I didn't really want to risk it in case he just felt like overheating or something. So anyway, I'm going to hit him with a Seismic Toss, and then he's just going to explode next turn after he hits that Toxic, which is kind of weird. I guess he expected me to switch out to not rack up Toxic damage, but I really didn't want to because I knew that even with Toxic damage, I could outstall this Heatran and kill it with Seismic Toss. And what's really surprising about this is that I actually live with like 55 HP. Man, Blissey is a douche. Thus its name, I guess. Anyway, I'm not going to get taken out from the Toxic. I'm going to live with 11 HP after all that. And he's going to have to send in a Shaman and finish me off with an Earth Power. I'm not going to switch out and try to salvage Blissey because it's just not worth it. It's not faster than anything. It can't come back in later and heal up, really. So I'm just going to let him finish me off so I can get a switch initiative on his Shaman. And I go into my Jolteon here, and this Jolteon is unique because it bluffs a spec set, basically. And I'm going to sub here on his switch into a Apollyon. I guess he was predicting an HP Ice. And then I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt after I sub, but he goes into an Electivire. And honestly, Electivire, even with its boost, is not that intimidating to my team. I have a Cresselia, which I will switch into after hitting this thing with a Shadow Ball. And you might notice this Jolteon's Life Orb, and I'll explain why when I bring in Cresselia. This whole team's based around just hitting really hard and then using Cresselia's signature move Lunar Dance to heal up one of my guys after it's done, taking hits from Life Orb or other Pokemon or whatever. But I go into Cresselia here just to pretty much wall this Electivire. It's going to cross-chop me, and that's not going to do much. And then it's going to Thunder Punch me. I predicted him to switch here because he really can't do anything at all to my Cresselia. So I just go for a Thunder Wave, which raises his speed even more. And I kind of want to go for another Thunder Wave, but instead I just go for a Psychic in case he does want to stay in. But he goes out into a Shaman here, I guess because it has Natural Cure. And I'm just going to Psychic now, and that's going to take it down to the very, very low red. I think it's going to go back up to yellow. No, it's still in red after the leftovers. And I know that even if it's Seed Flares, I can take that because I'm especially bulky as well. Cresselia is just a great mixed wall. And he ends up missing anyway, and that sucks, but that's the risk you run when running not 100% accurate moves. Yeah, anyway, he goes back into, he goes into something I haven't seen yet. He goes into an Azelf. And I'm thinking, like, what is this thing going to do? Like, is it Choice Banded? Is it going to U-turn? I decided just to set up a Reflect as he explodes. And he must really not like this Cresselia. It must really wall him if he just goes out and explodes like that. Awesome. But luckily, Cresselia is a beast. Lives that. And I'm going to get a Reflect up for my team, which isn't really going to matter because he doesn't really hit me with any physical attacks while the Reflect's up. Well, he does once, but it really doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, he sends in this, what is this thing called? Empoleon to finish off my Cresselia. Hits me on my weaker defensive side, my special side. And I see that this is a Life Orb Empoleon, so his name is not just a bluff. And this is a great play here. I go into my Breloom, and it's Scarfed, and that totally caught him off guard, and I know that because he stayed in. and he takes a superpower to the face, and man, I love Scarf Reloom. I'm surprised I don't see more of them. You know, the bread and butter, like, substitute Focus Punch set is good, but the Scarf set has so much surprise value. Anyway, he goes back out into Star Raptor. He's going to take 1/4 damage from Stealth Rock, and that's good because it's good. And I'm going to switch out because I don't want to lose my Reloom. It's at full health and still has the ability for a super fast Spore. So anyway, he's going to U-turn now, predicting, I guess, something else to come in, and so he can get switch initiative, and my Blastoise comes in. And now here, he goes for a Cross Chop, I guess predicting me to switch into my Jolteon, but I don't. I stay in and just, I know I can take a Thunder Punch with a Reflect Up, but he goes for a Cross Chop instead, and I miss my Hydro Pump, and then he's going to finish me off with a Thunder Punch. So my Blastoise goes down, but his Electivire is now at a weak enough level of health to where a Life Orb Shadow Ball from my Jolteon will be able to take it out. And right here I'm thinking it's a good game because his last one is Staraptor and I outspeed. But, well, it turns out his Staraptor has been scarfed the whole time. And it also has Double Edge, so that's going to just maim my Jolteon right here. And, you know, I'm a little worried because he could, if he gets a crit, he could definitely sweep the rest of my team. But I go into my Gyarados, which hasn't even been revealed yet. And this is actually a choice band of Gyarados. Didn't really have a chance to bring it in this match, but I bring it in to cut his attack with Intimidate, and that's going to help me easily live that Double Edge, provided it's not a critical hit. And I'm going to take it out with a Waterfall. So that was a great game, dude. His channel is in the video description. You can check it out if you want, and subscribe. And my question of the day is a weird one. Me and my friends, my house, I really thought my house was haunted. Like, I really think my house is haunted in a way. And me and my friends last night were messing